Hello and welcome. I am Cindershadow and I am still able to make videos right now, so I'm going to make a doozy of one. We're going to cover some of the trucker convoy and what's going on in the world of Magic the Gathering. How do these two things collide? Well, I am Cindershadow, so don't forget to like and subscribe. And what is going on here? Well, it seems some prominent artists are speaking out with the convoy, with what's going on with the convoy. And I gotta say, I don't blame them, because the convoy is doing things, they're doing the boots on the ground sort of work. They're demonstrating against the government, or my Canadian government right now. And there is a lot of things that have been vivified by the mainstream media that I just can't believe is continuing to go on. We have the Liberals. All my life, I followed this party, and I'm seeing exactly the type of stuff that we've seen in the last, I'd say, 7 to 8 years, where it's American style politics in the media and in the faces of our House of Representatives. And it's absolutely embarrassing to see as a Canadian. And I have to speak out against this stuff, because this is ridiculous at this point. I think there's a lot that's going on. I think our healthcare system is crumbling because it's been very underfunded for the last probably 50 years, especially here in Alberta. What is it? Back in 2002, I believe we had something like 3.2 hospital beds per 1,000 people. Now, in today's age, we have 2.4 in 2021. That is a drastic decrease. That shows right there how underfunded our healthcare system is, and why we're in the situation where we have a healthcare system crisis where they are crumbling at our feet. But besides all of that, we have politicians that want to sit there and make sure that we can't cross borders unless you get a poke that seems to be 6 months behind the curve. Yes, I am recording this while I'm infected with COVID. I have COVID right now. I am triple vaccinated. I've had 3 shots of it, and I've still managed to get this virus. I'm doing quite well thanks to an antiviral treatment that has been supplied to me by the Alberta government, because I am immune compromised, and I'm very thankful that that option is there to try and keep this calm and try and keep this down. Right now, I have what seems to be a cold. That's the best way I can describe it. My nose is stuffed up. I'm getting hay fever like I have a cold. Slight headaches off and on, and I have a strange taste in my mouth from the whole medication that alters the taste of what you have. And you know, I'm sitting here sipping on orange juice non-stop just to try and get over this and fight this as best as I can. But what is going on here? Well, let's talk about this, because we have, you know what, since he hit the Magic scene, I've loved his artwork. We have Seb McKinnon sitting out there and raising voices and trying to amplify the voices that are not being heard in this convoy. And there is a huge Instagram post that he posted, that he linked to, and I think it is eye-opening. And all of you, I think, really do need to see this. I'm not going to play this full thing, obviously, for obvious reasons, but I will link this in the description below.
By the media of who's in this movement, that it's not just far-right extremists, or it's not just one group, that it represents the concerns and interests of a really diverse group of Canadians.
So if you guys want to see more on that, there was also 2 den mothers that came down and they did a full blessing for this situation. So what is really going on here? Well, we have Seth McKinnon. He has been tweeting out much similar to what I've been tweeting out with all this situation here. And I've had a few people speak up to me and say, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be getting into that. And I'm like, no, because this is my country. This is where things are headed. This is the changes that we are seeing as a democracy at this point. We now have a Liberal MP, Joel Lightbound, stepping up and going against.
When it comes to the broader demonstrations we've seen in Ottawa, in Quebec City, and all across the country, I will abstain from the kind of generalizations that we've heard these last few days. I've seen on Radio-Canada an interview with what seemed to be a very kind grandmother who demonstrated for her grandkids. She looked and sounded nothing like a white supremacist. Nor did the Black, Sikh, and Indigenous Canadians I saw demonstrating on my way to Parliament these last 2 weeks, or in Quebec City this last Saturday. I have enough respect for my fellow Canadians not to engage in these easy and absurd labels.
And that's been the whole deal. The fact that these are easy labels they can throw out there that completely demonizes the whole thing is absolutely getting ridiculous, and it's out of hand. It's completely out of hand at this point. People are just asking for them to sit down. They went to Parliament, the place that you do parlay, to speak with our representatives. And this is Seth McKinnon putting all this out. One of the most powerful things I seen him put out today was truth does not mind being questioned. A lie does not like being challenged. And that is what's going on here, is people are stepping up and seeing what is going on in this entirety. Hey, you want to catch some amazing things from Seb right now? He put up a detailed list into his farewell art for the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. And this is an amazing thread of how he went from stage 1 to stage 3, or the many stages of putting this artwork together for the card Farewell, which is right here. And you can see I've replied with telling another friend of mine, Help for the Guild List. If you guys have not seen that channel, they do some evening cringe book reviews and some MSNBC sort of style stuff that is off the cuff. They're much worth checking out. But Farewell, 2 white and 4 generic for sorcery. Choose 1 or more. You can exile all artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or graveyards, or do it all. Get rid of the entire board. Exile the entire thing. It's an amazing card, and once again, this artwork is absolutely amazing. And I thank Seb McKinnon for his of due respect and for everything he has done in and around the Magic community. Even though there's people out there that are treating him like he is a World War II bad guy right now, which is absolutely ridiculous. He's not. He's looking out for the best interests as Canadians overall. And what is going on with this convoy? What is the whole thing going on? Well, there's mandates that have been put in. From my understanding, the Canadian government even lobbied the American government to put in these mandates for cross-border travel between our 2 countries. And the truckers, which majority of them are all alone, they're driving for hours on end, either have already had this disease, or they just don't see the point in getting a vaccination that's always going to be, what I'm calling at this point, 6 months behind the curve because of the latest mutations. This is why you don't have a cure for the common cold. The common cold changes every season. It mutates, and it is of the same type of virus family as this one is. So it will always mutate and will always have a different version of it out there. The initial cause of this, yes, was extremely bad. But as science progresses and science moves forward, as these ideas of these mandates need to come down, they continue pushing forward, and they continue to show you that they are absolutely ridiculous. From day one, I've said these mandates are stupid. They don't belong. What are they doing? What is the mandates doing? Now the mandates say a person can't go to a movie theater unless they get the poke. Why? If you have a vaccine in this case, why should you be scared of going out? But the science is also showing now that people spread it no matter what you do. So if it spreads and the vaccine is the way to get past it easier, which is my understanding and my personal belief of what it is it will help you fight it off a lot easier. This is why I advocate to get the vaccine and why I have myself. However, I know the best of my knowledge, because of a way this thing works, it will always be behind the curve. All it will do will eventually reduce it down, and each different mutation that happens out there should, in theory, reduce the severity of the disease. And that is, from my understanding, how a coronavirus works and why there's a lot of people up in arms. There is more than 54% of Canadians right now that believe these mandates should be taken down as well. That's an Angus Reid poll that's been pushed out and around. But ultimately, what is going on here? Well, we have people that are downright slandering Seb McKinnon. Sheldon Minery, I was serious yesterday about having cards from a certain artist altered. If you are a Canadian artist and also anti-bad guys, drop me a DM and we'll see if we can arrange something. I'd happy to spread the work and love around, which is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, you got 708 people liking that, and all 708 of you should be ashamed of yourselves because this is not what is going on. Seb McKinnon speaking up against him. Hi, Sheldon. I'd appreciate if you'd stop engaging in slander and defamation. If you have a problem with me, why don't you speak to my face instead of behind my back? Get on a call with me and let's see this record straight. Are you on Twitch? We can do it there. Hey, Seb, you want a place where you can get your voice out there? How about you come here? We'll do an interview right here on this channel and we will talk and I will let you spew all of it. Why? Because it is getting absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm watching the House of Commons completely melt down. I'm watching the Conservatives, who I generally don't agree with, be the ones putting out the olive branch and talking to their fellow Canadians and treating them with the utmost respect right now. I am watching the Liberals turn around and call them every catch-ism out of the book. This is absolutely ridiculous, and my Canadian government needs to step down a few notches and actually step up and be a world leader at this point instead of being an embarrassment to the country and to the world. Thanks, guys, for watching. Have yourselves a great day. This is Proud Canadian Phoenix signing off. Don't forget to like and subscribe.